Hello and welcome into this Tuesday post Labor Day edition of SimWorld today. I'll be your host for the day, Siege, and I'm joined by none other than the cowboy himself, JR Storm. JR, how we doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Siege. We got a great show planned today. Can't wait to get started.
Isn't that right? So we're gonna start off hot. We're gonna do some SWFL award predictions. The season is right around the corner, and might as well start at the very top. MVP. Who do you got? Who do you got, JR?
Patrick Mahomes next. No, no, no. Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes for me. I mean, you know, I know you can. Everybody can say maybe voter fatigue, but like Patrick Mahomes has proven time and time again, when you give him ammunition, that he will absolutely tear you up. And he's gotten that in way more ways than in many more ways than one this off season.
I
So
think it's
yeah, I think Mahomes. Yeah, and I'll say I think he hits the 5,000 yard mark and 50 touchdown mark this season.
That is a lot. Well, it's never a bad bet to bet on Patrick Mahomes. My pick's actually going to be Jalen Hurts. I think they've assembled the Avengers over there in Philly. I think Saquon's going to look a lot more like the Saquon that we knew his rookie year over there in Philly, and I think that whole offense is going to be firing on all cylinders. Jalen's going to be in the middle of it. He's my pick there. And then I'll move on. Offensive player of the year. I got Tyreek Hill personally. I think he's gonna have a monster season. We all know what he's capable of. And to me, that's he's the best offensive player in the league, quarterback or not. MVP is a quarterback award, but offensive player of the year goes to Tyreek Hill.
I'm with Christian McCaffrey. I think 49ers, they're going to come off motivated last season's, you know, Super Bowl loss. And McCaffrey, we all know, everybody knows, ever since he's, come into the SWFL, what he can do in every aspect on the offensive side of the ball. I think he's going to have extra motivation himself as well, coming off the way the season ended last year. And yeah, I think McCaffrey will definitely be in that conversation.
Defensive player of the year. I personally hear Jr. I think it's Max Crosby's year for the Raiders. I know that the Raiders may not look so great as a whole team, but I think Max Crosby is just such a dominant force. He's gonna be my pick to get that award this year. I think he deserves it.
You know what? And I honestly have this was one I was going back and forth on, but the more I think about it, the more I like Max Crosby's chances as well. Just his ability to impact the game and just take over a game, on his side of the ball is just you don't really see that very often, especially in today's game.
Jr. Who do we got for rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year? It's a pretty good draft class. I think a lot of people are expecting a lot of different things, but who do you have winning that award?
See, this is one I went back and forth on. I think there's two really, really solid candidates. And for me, those Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. You feel like the safe bet is to always go with the quarterback, and I'm not so sure that the Bears make the playoffs this season. I think, they have an outside chance to, so I wouldn't rule it out. But then I really like Marvin Harrison as well. I think he's instantly going to step in and be a top 10 wide receiver in the league. He's got no competition for the top receiver spot in Arizona outside of Trey McBride, at tight end. And yeah, just his ability to, create separation from a DB and make big plays downfield. So I know that's not really one specific, but I got to go between Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's fair to me. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't necessarily believe he's as transcendent as a lot of people may. But I am going to go Caleb Williams for this award. We haven't seen a first overall pick quarterback be put into quite as good of a situation as he's been put into with the Bears. Went out and got Keenan Allen, who may be a little older but can absolutely still get it done. One of the best route runners in the SWFL, along with DJ Moore, who was already there, one of the best yards after catch guys that you're going to find in the SWFL. Add Romo Dunze, who they drafted as well. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons there in that offense. I just don't think we've seen a guy be put into that good of a situation in a long time. So he's going to be my pick there. And for defensive rookie of the year for me, Dallas Turner, Houston Texans. He's an absolute dog coming off that line. The Houston Texans, their defense been getting sneaky, sneaky good. People keep talking about CJ Stroud, but you look at that defense, they're going to be teeing off on quarterbacks all season.
Yeah, I have to go Dallas Turner as well. He was co-SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Just his ability to take over games. You don't really see that, like I've already said before, here this morning. I think Dallas Turner is instantly going to be a top dog on the defensive end for his team.
Absolutely. And last one, JR. Who's your comeback player of the year this year in the SWFL?
Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he stays on the field this season. The Jets go to the playoffs. Put it this way, if the Jets make the playoffs, I feel like it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. Because, getting
Go
up
ahead.
there in age, but he can still play. He can still play. And he is also on that very short list of players I will never bet against. So, yeah, I got to go with Aaron Rodgers, my comeback player of the year pick.
I think he's a pretty good pick, and I think with the iconicism that comes with the Aaron Rodgers name, he's got a good shot. But for similar reasons, I'm actually gonna have to go Joe Burrow on this one. That offense was insane when he took him to the bowl, and so I think he comes back healthy. I think he's slinging that ball, and it's between the two for me: Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers. Whoever ends up having a better season, I think is gonna get this award. But moving on from that, start talking about, SimWorld U coming up starting October 1st. We're all excited. Um, and so we want to talk a little bit of Big Ten here. Who has the better season? There's two new coaches in the Big Ten, and that is for Michigan and Ohio State. Which team is loaded up to have the better season this upcoming season? Is it going to be Michigan, Lorenzo Phenom being on the court, Samuel Bogus joining him, Carlos Buffini, great roster they got going on over there, or is Ohio State bringing in Bo Pagnotti, both bringing in guys from the area? Who's your pick to have a better season this year?
I got Michigan. That's not a knock on Ohio State. They do bring in Bo Pagnotti and Cody Johnson. That's a solid duo right there. But I just like Michigan's depth a little more, like you said. You have one of the more dominant players in all of SimWorld U and Lorenzo Phenom. You've got one of the more interesting point guards coming in Samuel Bogus. And Carlos Buffini, all sources have indicated that he has had he has been putting out outstanding performances since arriving on campus in Ann Arbor. So I really like what the Wolverines have and are going to be bringing to the court.
Absolutely, I actually agree with you there. And yes, SimWorld U, we got hoops coming up soon, but we're gonna switch this as both of these teams actually got great football programs as well for SimWorld U football. And so let's run it on the other side, JR. You think Michigan's got a better season coming up this year on the football side as well?
Now this gets a little bit tougher. Michigan, they still have Donovan Edwards. They kind of running the two quarterback thing right now. But I gotta go with Ohio State on the football side. I think if this is the year for Ohio State to get it done and pretty much save Ryan Day's job, because if Ryan Day don't win with the roster he's got this year, he's done. He's done in Ohio State. Kinshawn Judkins, Will Howard, Emeka Egbuka, they've got playmakers literally at every single position. Their defense is always going to be solid. You can bet on that. And I think Michigan, just for me, even though they returned a very solid defense, I think they just lost a little too much for me on the offensive side of the ball to the SWFL draft.
I think I'm with you on that one. I the two quarterback thing doesn't often work out. Trying to balance out two quarterbacks. I know you can have different packages and everything, but I'm with you there. I think Michigan likely lost a lot, and I don't know if there's enough there to compete with Ohio. Like you said, I think Ohio State very well has the best roster in all of football at the SimWorld U level right now. Quinshon Judkins, like you said, honestly, Trayvon Henderson
And
behind
Travion
Quinshon
Henderson,
Judkins.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
even forget about him.
he's the best. He might be the best running back in the country, and he's sitting behind somebody else on Ohio State's roster. So I mean, this Ohio State team should, to me, be the favorite behind Georgia to win a national championship this year. Michigan, I think they're going to have a good season, but I actually think they're going to have a compared to obviously what they did last season. I think they're going to have a down season. If I had to guess, so that's what I would have to go with on that side. We actually, JR Storm, we got a guest today. As we mentioned, SimWorld U starting up soon on the hoop side. We have a SimWorld Prep alum with us here today. Carter Fields joining us. Carter's a freshman at Wake Forest, so we're gonna bring him in. Carter, how we doing today?
I'm doing fine, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
Can't complain, Carter. So news coming out of Wake Forest. We're hearing from Coach that you and JC Graham are looking like a lethal duo out there on the court. What can you say about the chemistry that you've already built with your teammate on that side?
I can definitely say it's definitely something to watch for. We have built such a connection for like the past couple of weeks, just working on practicing. He definitely brings in such a different game on the offensive side that I definitely say that I can see why he's one of the top SWU players coming in this season. As far as that, I just want to kind of be like that Rodman to him, be that second guy for him, and hopefully we can go ahead and carry it all the way.
Yeah, definitely. And Carter, a question I was curious to ask you was: is there a specific player, with you going to Wake Forest? Is there another player in the ACC that you're excited or intrigued to go up against?
I'll say it's a couple. It's a couple of players. I would like to match up with Johnny Basketball, Johnny Baldwin. He plays over there in UVA. Big forward, athletic forward. I think that's a really good matchup. You see us play against each other once you do. I think another one is go down to Duke. I would like to definitely have to match up with Victor Ilgauskas again. I know we had some of our battles whenever we did match up SW prep, but I know once we do go down to the Cameroon, it's going to be a battle, especially for the boards.
So Carter, you mentioned a couple of ACC teams talking about Duke, Virginia, Johnny Baldwin, Vic Ilgauskas, even Cooper Flag you got there at Duke. Do you feel like from what you've seen so far on campus and what you felt chemistry wise with this team that this Wake Forest team has what it takes to make a run to win the ACC this year?
I believe so. I just think that these guys that I'm working with, I've seen the effort that they're trying to put in. Like these guys, they don't give up. They don't give up. And once like we see our eyes on a prize, we are trying to set on it. And I like that mentality that they bringing in Wake Forest. And that's something that I'm trying to strive for and try to be a leader as well. That way, we can go ahead and do it and meet our goals today.
And Carter, for my last question today, kind of wanted to ask, Siege kind of alluded to it, and what you believe you guys can do in conference this year. But what else can we expect for the Demon Deacons this upcoming season?
I would definitely say, like, are you asking for like maybe I wouldn't say like offensive teams, but like just kind of like with the idea of what we're going to do, like maybe offensively, or defensively, like the game plan, kind of sort of.
All right. Well,
yes. Okay. But really, we're trying to go for like maybe for like a running gun type of thing. We're trying to, I guess, coaches trying to see like how my play style is and see how a little bit more like I can just run a little bit more instead of trying to be your traditional post guy. So we're trying to run the ball just a little bit more. That way we can get fast buckets in and try to get to the bucket quick as I can. Trying to get the bucket quick as we can. Try to get the score as quick as I can before the other team does. So I think that's really our main plan is just we try to get that running gun.
fast pace. I like it. Well, Carter, thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure, and good luck to you and your Demon Deacons this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can do out there on the court this season. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks for being with us here on SimWorld today. I'm Siege, my guy JR Storm. Remember, SimWorld Sports, the only place where you can see the game, be the game.
This has been a presentation